Hello everyone, my name is Birendra. I am the head of Sure Shot Mains and mentoring program in Vajiram and Ravi. Today in this session, I am going to talk about one of the most important strategy which we have introduced in Sure Shot Mains 2027 batch. And this new innovative feature we have already introduced in other batches or other programs like Sure Shot Senior Super 50 batch, PYQ Dominator and Mains Camp. But this is the first time we are going to introduce this feature for Sure Shot 2027 batch. And that particular or that innovative feature is nothing but it's a previous year's questions brainstorming sessions. Now you need to understand what are the importance or what are the significance of previous year's brainstorming sessions. But before I walk you through the significance or the importance of brainstorming sessions, I want you to think about the various problems, the various challenges many of us faces when we start with the answer writing, right? Because answer writing is not something which you can learn just by joining the test series, right? No matter how many tests you write, if you do not have the good notes, if you do not have the basic understanding of the demand of the question, if you don't know how the structure should be done, no matter how many tests you attempt, your marks will remain stagnated, right? And that is the problem. That is the problem. Many students, they brought this problem to us and we decided to include this previous year's question brainstorming sessions, right? So that they can understand the demand of the question, they can prepare the notes, they can prepare the value addition points, and that is how they will improve the quality of the answers, right? So if you are preparing for 2027, then this is the best time you can start implementing this strategy. I will also show you how we are doing the brainstorming or how we are conducting the brainstorming sessions, right? How the brainstorming sessions will help you in the notes making, how brainstorming sessions will help you to think what could be the probable topics for 2027. And if you are preparing for 2026 also, this session is going to be an eye-opener for you. I know we don't have much time left for 2026 mains, as far as the 2026 mains preparation is concerned, but still, if you think you have a very good hold on the prelims, you still have like 40-50 days in which you can prepare or you can finalize your notes based on this strategy, right? But if suppose you are a beginner, right, you are preparing for 2027, then you need to understand one thing, right? When you join any particular test series, right, when you join any particular test series, why do you join any test series, answer writing test series? So that you or the reason is because you think the test series will help you in answer writing. But have you ever asked the question how the test series will help you? How the test series will help you in answer writing? It is not only about, see, students, you need to understand, it's not about the filling up the pages. It's not about writing 150 words or 250 words. That's not a difficult task, right? If you have done your foundation classes, if you have foundation notes, it's quite easy to fill the pages, right? But do you think just filling up the pages will help you to get into the list? Answer is no. But when we join any particular test series, right, we join it with a very narrow mindset. Narrow mindset kya hota hai ki, okay, I will get 30 or 40 tests, I will get mentor, I will get some discussions on the, as far as the approach is concerned. So I think this is more than enough for me to learn the answer writing. But the answer is no. Answer is no. Because if you are a fresher, because I'm going to walk you through the problem, the problem which almost every student faces during the initial phases of the preparation. For example, you join any test series, right? You join any test series. As soon as you will attempt the first test, This is a problem. These are the problem, list of problems I am going to dictate, and exactly these problems you are going to face. The first problem you will face is understanding the demand of the question. That is the first problem. Then you will face problem as far as the structuring of the answer is concerned. Right? Then you will face the problem as far as the value addition is concerned. Right? Fourth problem you will face is related to the time. Like within the given amount of time, you will not be able to complete the paper. Right? Fifth problem you will face related to the presentation in the answer. Right? Then sixth problem you will face related to the visibility in your answer. Because if you do not have, or if there is no visibility in your answer, if your points or the keywords data is not highlighted, if your keywords are not highlighted, if your side headings are not highlighted, you will not get the marks, right? So these are the problems you will face when you will join the test series and when you will write the first test. So my friends, do you think if you will continue with more number of tests, all these problems can be solved? Answer is no. Answer is no. Right? So these are nothing but the prerequisites. These are the prerequisites of any answer writing program. Or to write a good answer, you need to develop a particular skill. Otherwise, your marks are going to be stagnated. Definitely, they are going to be stagnated, right? Because this is what you have to prepare at home. This is a homework for you. But when we join the test series, how many of you really care about all these aspects? We blindly just go and join the test series. Right? Whatever the test series is famous or popular, we blindly join it. But we never ask ourselves from where we are going to develop the skill on all these aspects as far as the demand, structuring, value addition, notes making are concerned. Right? So, to cover all these aspects, right, we have introduced the new feature, that is the previous year's questions brainstorming sessions. This feature was not something new for the first time we are going to introduce, but like I have explained, we are already implementing PYQ, or we are conducting the PYQ brainstorming sessions for senior batches or Sure Shot Senior Super 50 batch, PYQ Dominator batch, Mains Camp batch, right? But now many freshers, they have also requested to introduce this feature in the main Sure Shot program for 2027, and then we have decided let's include this particular feature for freshers also. So you guys should be glad to know that this is the most important feature of any answer writing program. And we have a team of good faculties who have a huge experience as far as the PYQ analysis is concerned. But before I'll show you how this step-by-step process we are going to conduct, or how this step-by-step process is going to help you as far as the entire strategy or mains preparation is concerned, I want you to first understand why this PYQ brainstorming sessions are important, first of all, right? That is what you need to first understand. Now, first point, for example, whenever you start with the answer writing, right? Whenever you start with the answer writing. Okay, so before you start with answer writing, first you need to focus on this part, why PYQ brainstorming sessions are important. Suppose you have just done, or you are just done with the foundation classes, right? You are done with the foundation classes and you have foundation notes, right? Now, many students have the common problem that, sir, after attending the foundation classes and after preparing the foundation notes, still we are not confident in the answer writing, right? My friend, you need to understand this. Foundation classes and foundation notes are very, very extremely important as far as your basic concepts are concerned. Basic concepts are concerned, right? But still, even though you are confident in the basic concepts, why almost every student face the issues in answer writing? Because UPSC will not ask the question directly on the basic concepts, but it will ask the question from those concepts which are evolving in the nature. Which are evolving in the nature. Or rather, I will say, UPSC may not ask the question from basic concepts, but UPSC will ask the question on the application of basic concept. Application of basic concepts. Right? What does it mean when I say the basics, the application of basic concepts? For example, right? For example, you must have learned about the constitutional morality, right? You know the basic concepts of constitutional morality. You can write 150 words or 250 words if I will ask you, right? But do you think now UPSC will ask the question, how do you define the constitutional morality? That era has gone. Though UPSC has asked this question, but if you will go and check how the previous year's questions has been framed on the constitutional morality, you will identify UPSC has been focusing more on the application part of it. So, as far as the concept is concerned, your notes, foundation knowledge will help you to address the conceptual question. But now UPSC has started asking the application-based question. For example, UPSC has asked how the constitutional morality can help the judiciary to strike a balance between the independence and judicial accountability. How the constitutional morality can help in the effective functioning of the civil services, right? Similarly, the UPSC can ask how the constitutional morality can help the judiciary as far as the interpretation of the laws are concerned for social transformation. अब देखो यहाँ पे क्या है, यहाँ पे basically application पूछना start हो गया है. So now this is the problem. Why our notes which we prepare during the foundation classes are not really helpful when the questions are based on the application. But again, I am not saying we need to ignore that because they are the foundation. भाई अगर आपको basic concept ही नहीं समझ में आएगा, you will not be able to apply it, right? So when we know that we need to work on our notes, now the next question comes, how we can prepare our notes, or how we can make, or how we can convert our basic notes into application based notes, right? So that is the next question, right? That is how to basically convert basic notes into application based notes, right? Now this is the point where the previous year's questions will help you. And I will show you how, right? So, in the PYQ brainstorming sessions, PYQ brainstorming sessions, what we are doing? In the previous year brainstorming questions, sessions, we are picking up the last 20-30 years of PYQs, right? Based on these PYQs, we are discussing, we are basically identifying, we are identifying the themes. Now, understand this. When we are identifying the themes from the previous year's questions, what do you think these themes would be? How they would be? Obviously, these themes are going to be the application-based themes. Application-based themes, right? Now, based on these themes, the students, you all are supposed to prepare the notes. Now, there is again one important aspect you need to understand. We are not going to prepare the notes randomly. We are not going to prepare the notes randomly. Rather, our notes are going to be based on the framework or the templates, so that you can use these framework-based notes or template-based notes directly in your answers. Directly in answers. And when you know you have the template-based notes or the framework-based notes and you can use it directly in your answer, this will help in the time reduction. वहाँ बैठ के आपको सोचना नहीं पड़ेगा कि मैं 150 words कैसे लिखूं, how to add diversified points in my answer, because you already have the templates prepared, right? So this is the reason why the previous year's questions are extremely important, or the brainstorming on the previous year's questions are important, because many of us don't know how to analyze the PYQ. We just go through the PYQ. हमको बस यही बोला जाता है कि PYQ देख लेना. देख के क्या करना है? Who is going to explain this? Especially when we are fresher, we don't understand how to interpret, how to basically use the previous year's question, how to analyze the previous year's questions, right? So that is the reason this PYQ brainstorming sessions we have included in this program. And even if you are fresher, you at least you are going to know how to study and what to study in any particular topic, right? For example, Article 19 आपको पढ़ना है कि tomorrow there will be a test. Just read the Article 19. आप क्या पढ़ के आओगे? Same चीज, right? What are the various fundamental rights under Article 19? What are the reasonable restrictions? Few more Supreme Court की judgment. Again, your understanding is very limited to the basic concepts, right? But do you think UPSC or in the test series we will ask the question, describe the scope of Article 19 in the Indian Constitution and what are the reasonable restrictions? Answer is no, right? Obviously, we are going to ask the application-based question, right? So, your notes has to be the application-based notes. So, previous year's questions basically help us to cover all the aspects. So, basically, how this will help, for example, how this mains program will help. Suppose you have the test, right? For example, you have the test on 30th of January, right? Then at least a week before, right? At least a week before you will get the PYQ brainstorming sessions, right? When you get the PYQ, you have to attend or you have to watch these PYQ brainstorming sessions. In these sessions, what we are doing, we will discuss the demand of the previous year's question, how to structure the answer, what is the scope of value addition, right? Then how the topic is evolving in the nature, right? And probable themes for 2027, right? So when you know what are the various demands of the question, right? These demands are what? Application-based demands. You can prepare the notes on this, right? When you know what is the scope of value addition? You can put this in your notes, right? When you know how the topic is evolving in the nature, it will help you to predict what could be the possible question in 2027 also. You can also include this in your notes. Now your notes will be application based notes, right? Then you will see the drastic transformation as far as your notes making exercise is concerned. Because the notes making is the biggest problem in this industry. There is no clear guidance. And for example, many students face some issues when they watch the brainstorming sessions, because they every student have a different problem, right? Sometimes they find it difficult, or they find difficulties in certain topics. So in that case, you can book one-to-one session with the mentors or even the faculty who have taken the session, right? So it's not that we are going to mentor you after the test or after you will write the test. Even before the test, you can basically bring your notes, you can sit with us, you can discuss one-to-one with the mentors or with the faculties, and you can see how we can do the brainstorming on that particular topic live. So we have that feature also, right? So this is the process. Now I will walk you through the PDF, right, which we used to brainstorm the previous year's questions. And then you will realize how these sessions are going to be a game changer as far as your entire preparation is concerned. For example, this is the topic, right? This is the post-independence history. These are the questions UPSC have asked, right, in last 20-30 years. Like the first question I have picked up the questions starting from 1989, right? Then from 1989, UPSC have asked, I think, like 8, 12, 17 questions, right? 17 or 18 questions UPSC has asked in last 20-30 years, right? After going through all these questions, right, what was my first process, right? The first process after analyzing the previous year's questions, what did I say? That first we will identify the themes, right, from the previous year's questions. We will help you to identify the themes from the previous year's questions. Now, look at these themes. There are 14 themes. Integration of princely state, then partition, refugee rehabilitation and social consequences, linguistic reorganization of state, federalism and center-state relation, industrialization, science, education. So these are the 14 themes we have extracted from where the UPSC has asked the question, right? Now, our job is not done yet, right? Once we identify the important themes, the second step is going to be, what are the various aspects needs to be explored? Needs to be explored from these themes, right? Then the third step is the framework or the templates to be used to prepare the notes or content on these aspects. And the fourth part is basically the value addition. The value addition. Now you get the clarity. Okay, these are the themes UPSC has asked, how these themes are evolving in the nature, what are the various aspects within the particular themes, and within that themes, what are the scope of value addition. When you know all these 4 aspects as far as any topic is concerned, do you think your notes will not help you in answer writing? I cannot believe it. Because I have seen students who are rigorously following this strategy or applying these steps to prepare any topic, they are very, very comfortable in the answer writing and as far as the notes making are concerned. And they are writing a very good answer. I can see a drastic improvement in the answers. But my friends, you need to accept the pain, right? Otherwise, shortcuts are available. Shortcuts are always available, but they are going to be like not shortcuts. You will be wasting a lot of years into this preparation if you are not going to realize the importance of this exercise. Trust me on this. Right? So now I will show you all these things. For example, this is the themes, right? These are the broad themes we have provided. Now, after the themes, what was the second step? What are the broad aspects? So I will show you what are the broad aspects looks like. These are all the annotation, right? I will show you one by one, don't worry. For example, the first theme was integration of princely states, right? Now, within the integration of princely states, what are the various aspects? I will show you. Here it is. Okay, so once we have identified what are the important themes, then what are the various aspects within the themes? For example, see, this is the first topic. Integration of princely state and political consolidation, right? So, there are various aspects within this topic. For example, what are the challenges in integration? What are the methods, right, used in the integration? Then what are the administrative and governance challenges arose during the integration? Then how did the integration of princely states shape the federalism in India? So this is my second step, which is done. Now, what was the third step? You remember? After identifying the themes, we need to identify the aspects. After we find the aspects, we need to think about the templates which we can use, framework which we can use to generate the points, right? For example, what are the challenges as far as the integration of princely states was concerned? So, challenges can be think in terms of, for example, look at this. Socio-cultural challenges, geopolitical challenges, political challenges, administrative challenges, demographic challenges, economic challenges, and policy level challenges. Now, can you see how concise your notes will become when exactly you know what needs to be done? Similarly, for example, how did the integration of princely state shaped the federalism in India, right? How does the integration of princely state shape the federalism? Don't think about the points. Think about the structure. क्या आपके mind में कोई structure आ रहा है, कोई framework आ रहा है? That is what we have used. For example, as far as the nature of federalism is concerned, as far as the degree of federalism, as far as the power in the federal structure is concerned, right? As far as the fiscal federalism is concerned, as far as the administrative federalism is concerned, as far as security federalism is concerned, as far as democratic federalism, right? So these are the broad framework which I have explained when we were doing the brainstorming of this particular topic. Now, based on this framework, you can collect the points. For example, these are the examples like strong union, asymmetric federalism, limited autonomy to the states. These points are basically the same points, right? This is just a briefing of these broad templates. So now, this is how we are going to complete each and every topic in the previous year's brainstorming sessions. Based on this, you prepare the notes. Based on this, you need to prepare your value addition sheet, right? Now, there is another shocking fact which I would really want to introduce, right? That many students ask me the question, sir, how relevant is the previous year's question, right? How relevant is the previous year's questions? Because every year the questions are new. My friend, questions are never like more than 50% of the questions. More than 50% of the questions are repeated every year. Trust me on this. You bring me any year question paper, I'll show you. 50, only the language is changed. Only the context is changed. Because every topic is evolving in the nature. So basics to wahi rahenge na, right? So you need, so let me give you proof of it, right? For example, look at these fact sheet. This fact sheet will help you to understand the importance of the previous year's question, right? For example, look at the reflection of Sure Shot questions in UPSC Mains 2025 itself. Highly reflection means almost direct question, right? Direct question. How many questions? Out of 73 questions, 33 questions were almost the same question. Is this a magic? Answer is no. The reason is because this entire Sure Shot program is based on the previous year's question. हमारे यहाँ जितने भी questions the team is framing, they are based only on the previous year's questions and current events. So the idea which we follow to frame the question is that the question has to be based on the PYQ and how this PYQ is evolving in the nature. Because if there is any topic which is evolving, which is there in the PYQ and it is evolving in the nature, then this becomes the criteria for Sure Shot Mains question. Sure Shot Mains question. And that is the reason why there is reflection of, highly reflection of 33 question in the UPSC Mains. 415 marks ka, right? Then moderate reflection, same theme but different domain. 9 question. Similar theme, 11 question. Out of 73, 53 question have appeared in 2025 Mains from Sure Shot test series. Right? So why we are so confident about the previous year's question? Because the reason is there are so many questions have direct reflection from our test series, right? And that is the reason we have decided why not just focus on the previous year's questions and the current affair, that is evolving themes. अगर हम उतना भी कर लेते हैं, my friend, your 80% of the job will be done. But the problem is we don't realize the mistakes from past experiences. We always run for the shortcuts. कि कौन करे ये सब? चलो notes, one pager notes मिल रहे हैं, उठा के पढ़ लेंगे. But the problem will remain same. Because this brainstorming session, my friend, it is not basically, it is not something, or it is not a notes which we will provide, but brainstorming sessions will help you to develop the skill. A skill which is required to understand the demand of the question, the skill which is required to interpret the, the skill which is required to structure the answer, the skill which is required to prepare the notes, the skill which is required to complete the paper in time, the skill which is required to think about the template or framework. So this skill is important. Otherwise, ready-made materials are always available. They are the shortcuts, right? So with a very, like, you can say, I'm pretty confident if anyone is going to start this from day one, no one can stop him to clear the prelims and mains in 2027, be it the first attempt or the last attempt. But the moment you are going to compromise with this process, I think, I'm sorry to say, but then this exam is not for you. Because this is the only approach which can give you the direction as far as your entire preparation is concerned, right? And जैसे जैसे complete होता जाएगा syllabus, आप prelims के questions लगाते रहो, prelims के PYQ लगाते रहो. Why you think that when the December will come, then you will start with the prelims? It doesn't make any sense, right? So जैसे जैसे we are going with the mains PYQ, at the same time you can pick up the prelims PYQ and you can brainstorm those questions. If you find any problem, bring it to us. We are always there. I hope this is clear. So if you have any question, any query as far as this program is concerned, right, you can scan this QR code and you can fill the form given in the description box also, and you can directly get in touch with us. You can bring your foundation notes, and if you have written any answers before and you have given the mains, right, and you still want to know how the other Sure Shot programs like Sure Shot Sure Shot Senior batch, how the program will help you, definitely we can discuss that, right? We have various modules, but for 2027, we have this Sure Shot program which is going to be launched. The first and two batch has already been launched. The third batch we are going to launch. So for any query, you can scan the QR code and you can get in touch with the mentors also. Okay. So I'll end this session here. I hope you understand the importance of the brainstorming session. So don't delay this process. And if you find it difficult, we are always there. Thank you.